Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the 14 Holy Helpers. The 14 Holy Helpers was a well-known Christian devotion that began in the 14th century in Rhineland, a region that is now part of Germany. This group was made up of saints, holy men and women, whom Christians across Europe invoked upon in times of sickness, danger, and disease. In 1351, Europe was devastated by one of the most deadly pandemics called the Black Death and other deadly illnesses which killed over 50 million people. Although medicine was not available at that time, people believed they were being punished. In their desperation, they turned to God for help and invoked a specific saint to intercede for their specific health problems. Each saint of the 14 Holy Helpers was associated with a certain type of illness, and every time they invoked the saint, they were miraculously healed. This became one of the most famous Christian devotions in Europe during the 14th century. These saints were Saint George, who was the healer of skin-related diseases, Saint Blaise for mouth and throat illnesses and was always known to grant miracles, Saint Aramis, the holy man who was known to cure abdominal pain and intestinal diseases, Saint Pantaleon, the patron saint of cancer and lung-related diseases, Saint Vitus, one of the most miraculous saints, who granted miracles to diseases like epilepsy and nervous system disorders. There is also Saint Christopher, the protector of travelers and invoked for safe journey and homes. Saint Denis, the holy man who was always involved for headaches and mental illness. Saint Cyriacus, invoked against temptations and demonic possessions. Saint Eustace was invoked against family troubles and difficulties in life. They also include Saint Acacius, who they invoke during the time of death. Saint Giles, who they turn to for plagues and avoidance of disease. For women who were about to give birth, they pray to Saint Margaret of Antioch for safe birthing. In times when accidents and sudden deaths happened, they pray to Saint Catherine of Alexandria, and for fever, flu symptoms, and bodily aches, they pray to Saint Barbara for help. Each of the Holy Helpers became known for granting countless miracles and healings in response to the prayers of the faithful. Over time, this devotion spread throughout Europe, and an annual feast in honor of the 14 Holy Helpers was established on August 8th. Later, Pope Nicholas V granted indulgences to this devotion, further strengthening their place in Christian tradition. However, in 1962, the Roman Catholic Church revised the calendar of saints. The collective feast on August 8th was officially removed, and instead each saint was assigned an individual feast day to better honor their own exemplary life, one by one. Although the widespread devotion has faded, the 14 Holy Helpers are still honored in Bavaria in southern Germany. Inside the basilica in Bavaria was a huge work of art depicting the 14 saints, where people come for prayer and veneration. Their feast day is still celebrated every 8th of August. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.